Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the program. Today I'd like to talk about the two most beautiful Pateks in the range. That's right, the two most beautiful. And look, this is a hard thing to do, but I've narrowed it down and I've gone for the form of the watch. And I think, look, when you look at Patek Philippe, the legendary complications, the two models that really strike as being absolutely amazing are the 3940 Perpetual calendar and the 5035 annual calendar. Now, both of these pieces are superseded models, and there's a reason why I've chosen these two compared to any other model. And firstly, let's set the scene there. Patek Philippe, what is its forte? Its forte is the elegant, complicated dress watch. That's the genre of Patek. Now, the next thing we've got to say is, you could say, well, why didn't you choose a Perpetual calendar chronograph? And the reason for that is, I wanted all in-house Patek movement. The Perpetual calendar chronographs were using a new Lamania type based movement. So, and the other thing is that I really want the piece to be reminiscent of the brand, and I want it to be automatic. That's right. The Perpetual chronograph is actually manual wind. So we're not necessarily looking for the most expensive Pateks release. This is not the aim of the exercise. It's to look at two classic models which represent the brand and talk about them. And I think the most amazing complications to have there in an elegant dress watch, a complicated, elegant dress watch, are the calendar type functions. Very, very, very useful. Day, date, month, and it's just a very, very beautiful thing to have. And okay, so let's go and have a look there. Now, let's talk case sizes. Now, I'm actually going to go back in history because the current case size is 39-40 mil for a elegant, complicated dress watch. So I'm going to go back and say, well, this is really a fad. This big oversized situation is a fad. So we're going to go back a bit, and we're not going to go back to ridiculously small sizes like 30 mils. We're going to bring it in a modern context, but if we go back, we're going to see the ideal complicated elegant dress watch was around about 36 to 37 mils. The 3940, the whole exercise of its execution was that the sucker was so small and had so much complication in it. And this is the beautiful thing. The 3940 is really what I would say one of the most elegant wristwatches of all time. It's a Perpetual calendar, it's automatic, amazing piece. Now, the 5035, it's special because I think the 5035 has taken its design basics from the 3940. If you look at the case of the 5035, the case is very reminiscent of a 3940. The bezel itself, the concave bezel, that's reminiscent of the 3940. The whole way the watch is laid out, the crown, the placement, everything smacks of 3940 as a guide. And I think in the elegant, complicated dress watch genre, both those models there do it quite well. Now, the 5035, it's marginally bigger. It's an extra mil and a bit bigger than the 3940. And it's also a bit taller because it's a different system to make the annual calendar. The actual movement itself, how it's done, is different. They use two different base movements. The 3940 is using a Patek micro rotor type movement, the 240, whereas the 5035 is using the 315 based, that's got the big rotor on the back. So it's a different execution, but the design of the piece is very similar. If you have a look at where the 3940 and the 5035 are similar, they've both got Patek at the 12 position. They've both got 3 eyes, and there's a few differences. The 5035 has applied Romans, whereas the 3940 has stick markers. And the 5035 has a calendar at the 6, whereas the 3940 has the calendar incorporated into the 3rd eye at the 6th position. The hands are a bit different on the two models, but they're both very elegant. The cases are very similar. The crown is similar. The piece is very, very similar. The 3940 comes with an exhibition back or a closed back, and the 5035 just has the display back. So it's very, very similar. And I've got to say, the 3940 I think is the epitome of complicated classic dress watches. The 5035 is the next runner-up. And it's not a perpetual calendar, it's an annual calendar. But its niche is that it's the first annual calendar. I mean, what a cool thing to have. And also, it's special because it's just so cool. It's very much, it takes its design excellence from the 3940. And I really do love the applied Romans, and I love the way it's got an AM PM indicator at the 6th position. And the display back, that's cool. And I think in many ways the 3940 is one of the classic all-time complicated Patek dress watches. It doesn't get better. I mean, seriously. Okay, seriously. Forget this craze where they're all monsters. The 3940 was designed for that size case, for the movement. It was all put together. Models after that have simply enlarged it to fit in with modern expectations. But the 3940, I think, is design excellence. And the same guiding principle can be applied to the 5035. It's design excellence. Its size was designed for the 315 movement. Okay, no compromise. That was designed. And I think these are 36 and 37 mil. The 5035's 37 mil. I think that size is the perfect size for these complications, because the art of haute horology is to make the movement and these pieces as small as possible. That's damn complicated stuff. It's not to put it into an oversized, ridiculous case. It's to make it small. And I've got to say, the 5035 and the 3940 are two classic Pateks that I think epitomize the complicated classic dress watch. And I don't think it gets better. I don't think it gets better. I just adore both those models. And I think really, I've been a huge, since I got my 5035, I've been a huge fan of the 3940. And there's a lot of merit in that model there. It's an amazing type of piece. And it's just got design excellence. And it's only when you've had a piece for a while that you do start to appreciate the history and where that model design has come from. And for me, the 3940 I think is just absolutely amazing. And the 5035 as a sister watch is just brilliant. And I've got to say, if you want a complicated Patek Philippe, you really can't go wrong with either model there. I'm Archie Luxury. I hope you've enjoyed this Patek perspective.